There's been a question on my mind.
Sometimes I just feel like I have to feel the presence of God before I feel like He's actually.
No, I feel like it's something that is on the mind of a lot of teenagers at school and all. How do I balance my academics and then extracurricular activities?
Sincha. Or is it Sinka?
Yes, interesting.
Son of God. Son of God. I love it.
Hello.
How are you doing?
I'm awesome as always.
There's a question that's been on my mind.
Okay.
As a young person, I want to know how I can discern relationships. There's always you ask the question of, okay, do you know God and all that. No. I feel like now with relationships I'm getting into personally, it now goes beyond do you know God? Because obviously I don't know how to be with someone. I don't talk to someone I don't experience with someone that doesn't know God. Do I now start to ask, okay, so like how is God using you? How are you letting God use you?
Oh, I remember this year. Okay. And you're asking that in the context of some character traits that you're seeing, or things you're expecting to see that you're not necessarily seeing.
Yeah, exactly.
That makes a lot of sense, this question you asked. I think the first thing to say is, it is important to note that your ability to get where you're going to is very much so determined by the relationship you get yourself involved.
Exactly.
Yeah. So there's some level of intentionality that's come. Now, to your question, the straightforward answer is, by their fruit you know them. To discern relationships, you have to look at the fruits that those relationships are producing. When you've been with people over time, right, you tend to establish the patterns of behavior, their inclinations, some things called proclivities, something they're inclined to do, right? Decisions they're inclined to make. And that can help you decide on the kind of person that they are. You can help you discern the kind of person that they are. And from that standpoint, you can start to determine whether they're really going towards where you're going or where you're not going. That said, the other bit to mention is the Holy Spirit is the one who sees the heart of man. Because the truth is, people may not necessarily be exhibiting the fruits that you want to see today, but they may actually be on a journey to become. There may be a potential for them to become. They may just not have been exposed to the right resources, the right materials, right? Which is why it's important that as you're growing, you're actually pulling your friends along as much as you can. But let's assume that you have a friend that for whatever reason they've not been exposed to the right resources, the right material, the right community that can help them grow and really become the kind of friends that you want to see. You will need the Holy Spirit to help you discern their hearts. So it's really important for you to learn how to pray about your friendships. The Holy Spirit, I'm in a relationship with this person. I really want to know if there are people that should be in my life for the long run. Interestingly, there's some friends that they are really designed to be your friend, but maybe not in this phase of your life. There's a lot of growing that needs to happen for that friendship to make sense. And in fact, I want to boil this one down to relationship between opposite sex. Right? I think in the community, and you are very aware of this, I'm very big on readiness. I'm very, very big on readiness when it comes to relationship with opposite sex. Because relationship in the context of romance, the way God sees it, He wants commitment to be the order of the day. There are certain demands that God makes for this kind of relationship. And as a person, you need to have become to be able to give it. Now, it's not a function of age, it's more a function of growth. But I've found in our environment, generally, at a certain age, you have not necessarily become that person, just because of the way that we tend to grow in this environment, right? Do you see? So I'm a big fan of readiness. That said, it means you might actually be in a situation where the person around you can potentially be someone you can end up with in a romantic relationship, but you may just not be ready because of the level of growth that you're in and the level of growth that you're in. In that case, you need the Holy Spirit to help you discern to say, you know what, that person is not bad, but they're not ready to be your friends in this season. And do you know why it's important? Because you will find out that people that should really be in your life, because they're not yet ready to serve you in the way that you should be served, and you are not yet ready to serve them in the way they should be served, you will hurt yourself. There are friendships that we've cut out from that we had no business cutting out from. The only reason it led to fall out is because of readiness, level of maturity, level of growth. So back to the point, you don't know all these things. You need the Holy Spirit to help you. In summary, 2 ways to discern your relationships. By their fruit, you know them. Get into the business of studying your friendships. Number 2, take your friendships to the Holy Spirit. Let Him help you see people's hearts. And maybe the last thing I would also say is, you would also develop the capacity to watch people grow. Now, and I know you're not talking about, let me confirm this one. Are you referring to just friends who are believers?
Yes.
Now, what I'd like to say also is this. You're also expected to be friends to unbelievers. We're not called to just be friends to believers. You're also called to be friends to unbelievers. However, with the intention and the mission to influence them positively. Do you understand? Right. And for those ones, you have to be very careful. So that
so they won't like rub off.
exactly, so they don't rub off on you. Right? Yeah. I think that'll be about it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right.